Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Pain to Power. I'm your host, Jill Ripley, and in today's episode, I would like to discuss the blessings that my pain and trauma have bestowed upon me. We spend so much time talking about what trauma took from us, what it disrupted, what it damaged, what it cost us emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. And all of that matters. These conversations are necessary. But what we don't often pause to explore is this question: who did you become because of your experience and because you decided not to allow it to destroy you? Not who you had to become to survive, but who emerged when survival loosened its grip. This episode is not about pretending the pain didn't matter. And it's definitely not about saying everything happens for a reason. It's about honoring the wisdom and strength that grew quietly inside you while you were doing the hard work of staying alive, staying sober, staying present, staying open. So today, I want to share what I genuinely love about who I am now. Qualities that exist because I chose to heal, soften, and stay conscious. And as you listen, I invite you not to compare, but to reflect, because chances are these strengths live in you too, even if no one has ever named them that way before. One of the greatest strengths that I carry now is the ability to forgive. And more importantly, to release the emotional hold that the past once had on my life. Forgiveness didn't come quickly for me. It wasn't a spiritual bypass. And it certainly wasn't about excusing what hurt me. For a long time, forgiveness felt like betrayal, like letting someone off the hook. For many years, I harbored anger, judgment, and resentment for the woes of my life. There have been countless acts of pain, trauma, betrayal, and neglect in my life. But what I have come to understand is this: forgiveness is not about them, it's about me refusing to stay emotionally imprisoned by what already happened. Release looks less dramatic than we imagine. It looks like thinking about the past without your body bracing, remembering without reliving, and acknowledging what happened without needing to retell it over and over. If you've reached a place where old memories no longer hijack your nervous system, if you notice more neutrality than tension, if your identity is no longer shaped by what wounded you, that is not weakness. That is earned emotional freedom. And for this, you should be immensely proud of yourself. I would like to share some of the ways that I've grown and what it's meant for me at this point in my journey. And hopefully, by putting it out there, I can help others to see how pain can be a powerful instrument for growth. Trauma often teaches us that control equals safety. If I can predict everything, if I can manage every outcome, if I can stay 3 steps ahead, then maybe nothing bad will happen again. Letting go of that belief has been one of the most profound shifts in my life. I love that I no longer feel the need to control every detail, conversation, or outcome. I love that I can sit in uncertainty without spiraling. This didn't come from passivity, it came from resilience. Because when you've already survived what you once believed would destroy you, something changes inside you. You begin to trust yourself more than circumstances. If you've noticed yourself releasing rigid expectations, choosing peace over control, or allowing life to unfold without gripping the wheel so tightly, that is not giving up. That is deep self trust born from experience. What I've come to see is that by releasing the need to control every detail, life often unfolds in beautiful ways that I could not have orchestrated on my own. Putting trust in higher guidance and allowing things to unfold naturally relieves you of the burden of the hamster wheel of thought that exhausts us, often to no avail. One of the quiet strengths that I cherish most now is humility, not the kind rooted in self doubt or self minimalization, but the kind that comes from knowing I am human, fallible, and still learning. I make mistakes. I misjudge situations. I say things I wish I'd said differently. And instead of collapsing into shame or defensiveness, I now ask, what can I learn here? How can I make this right? What repair is possible? That's growth. And if you've reached a place where accountability doesn't feel like an attack, you can apologize without abandoning yourself. You care more about integrity than ego. That's emotional maturity. And it's a strength that many trauma survivors often develop because they've already faced themselves in the dark. Another lesson I've learned is how to see feedback as a gift. Learning to receive feedback has not always been easy for me. For a long time, feedback felt like confirmation that I wasn't good enough. It usually made me feel defensive and combative. But healing taught me this truth. Feedback is information, not condemnation. We cannot adjust what we refuse to see. Now, I love that I can pause instead of react. I'm now able to hear feedback, feel the sting, and still stay open. If feedback is given with good intention, it can be life changing. I love that I can take what's useful and leave what's not without internalizing shame. And let me say this clearly, feedback delivered with malice or cruelty does not deserve your energy. You are allowed to reject criticism that comes from a negative place. If you're in a place where you can listen without shutting down, you're curious instead of defensive, and you can allow feedback to refine you, not define you, that's self respect. And that is growth, rooted in safety, not fear. Adaptability encourages another quality that the twists and turns of life have blessed me with. Hardship taught me how to adapt, how to meet life as it is, not how I think it should be. It taught me how to pivot when life didn't go according to plan, how to face fear without pretending I wasn't scared, how to move forward even when I didn't feel ready. Courage isn't loud, it's not dramatic. Courage is taking the next step while your knees are shaking. If you've rebuilt parts of your life you never imagined rebuilding, if you've chosen growth even when it costs your comfort, if you've walked into the unknown because staying stuck felt worse, you are courageous, whether you call yourself that or not. I've learned to come home to myself. Stillness used to feel unbearable. Silence amplified everything I was trying not to feel. But meditation changed my relationship with myself. It taught me that stillness isn't emptiness, it's presence. It's coming back to your true essence, pure consciousness, pure awareness, pure peace. Now, I love that I can sit quietly without needing distraction. I love that I can be alone without feeling lonely. I love that my nervous system knows how to settle. If silence no longer scares you, if rest feels restorative instead of lazy, if being with yourself feel safe. That is healing happening beneath the surface. One of the most beautiful strengths that emerged for me is empathy. Being an empath allows me to connect with people on a level that goes far deeper than surface level engagement. I can feel compassion without losing myself. I can help without rescuing. I can care without self betrayal. And perhaps most meaningful of all, I can send love even to people I don't agree with, even to people I don't particularly like. That doesn't mean I tolerate harm. It means I refuse to let my resentment harden my heart. If your pain didn't make you bitter, if it made you more tender, more discerning, more loving, that is strength in its purest form. Pain has taught me to trust my instincts, and reclaiming my inner authority, finally, I trust myself now. Not because I always get it right, but because I listen. I trust my intuition. I trust my inner nudges. I trust my body's wisdom. And if you are relearning how to hear your own voice after years of doubt, dismissal, or gaslighting, that is reclamation. That is you coming back online. Healing doesn't just close wounds, it reveals who you are underneath the coping. So I want to leave you with this gentle invitation. Sometime this week, ask yourself without judgment, what do I love about who I am now that wouldn't exist without the growth that I've done? You don't need to rush the answer. Let it rise, because honoring who you've become is not arrogance, it's integration. And you, my friend, are allowed to like the person you are becoming. If this episode touched your heart, I hope you'll share it with someone who might need this message. And if you'd like to dive deeper into this kind of work, my book, Empowered by the Storm, is a great next step. You can find it on Amazon or at empoweredbythestorm.com. Or if you'd like to explore private coaching, you can reach out through my website at empoweredbythestorm.com. And until next time, stay grounded, stay loving, and stay empowered.